Okay, so the bore diameter now, originally it was a 50mm bore, and the manual says that the reject size is 50.200 millimeters. So we'll do 3 readings at the top, 3 readings at the bottom. About there's good. Yeah, that's not even touching. So 108, 50.108. There. 50.108. That's just touching. Let's try 0.0. Yep. So the third measurement is 50.104. Okay, we're going to now move on to towards the bottom of the bore. So I'd expect there to be less wear down here, but we'll have a look. I'm not sure if you can even see down there. That's not contacting at all. So 78, 50.078. Now no longer contacting. So this is 50.074. And number 3. That is just contacting. We'll call it 50.079 for the third reading. Okay, so to summarise the cylinder, reject size was 50.200. Basically, I found the average at the top and the bottom. The average at the top was 50.106 millimeters, and average at the bottom was 50.077. Pretty much what I would have expected in terms of the fact that the top of the bore is going to be a bit more worn. So each ring is going to essentially go to the top and the bottom. So the reject size on these is apparently 0.76 mils. So we'll start at 0.75. It's pretty snug. That's a bit loose, so I'd say somewhere in between. Let's call it 0.725, but I don't think I've got a feeler gauge for that, but that's not necessary. And let's put that down in the bore to the least worn area. I'd say there isn't actually that much in it. I'd probably say it's about the same. So we're going to 0.72. Everything's all oiled already, so it's very tight. Again, I'd say really it's somewhere in between because it doesn't actually go properly all the way in. And then we'll try that at the bottom. 0.65. That fits nicely. 0.65. And then lastly, that's loose at 6.5. 8.5 is too tight, so I'd say it's probably around about 0.8. So yeah, just over. I'd probably actually say again between the 8 and the 8.5, 8.25, so 0.82, and then we'll go to the bottom. 7.5. Yep, that's a snug fit at 7.5. So there we go, 7.5. So piston ring end gap, the reject is 0.76, and that applies to all 3, the compression, the wiper, and the oil control ring. So essentially I've written it out here, but T is obviously top, B is bottom, and each one refers to these 3. So essentially, still acceptable. Not really, but it's not the end of the world, and the control ring never goes that far up anyway, so pretty happy with that. Okay, and the guides, so we'll start with the intake, and the original guide diameter is 6.350 millimeters, so we'll do each one 3 times, and then we'll we'll go from there. I'm using Mk10 small hole gauge. See how we go. Okay, that feels good. 6.376. I'd say about there. 6.370. There we go. Yeah, I'd say there. 6.372. Okay, now we're going to move on to the exhaust. Smells good. Yeah, that's a tiny touch tight, but I think that's the night that felt nice. So 6.394. Yeah, I'd say about there. 6.399. There. Yeah, I'd say about there. Same again, 6.399. So intake is 6.257. Exhaust is 6.266. Okay, so the reject clearance is 0.0989 millimeters, and that's essentially the clearance between the stem of the valve and the valve guide. For the clearance, we get 0.116. So we are quite a way over the reject size of 0.089. Minus those two, and you get 0.131. Again, clearance is, or the reject size of the clearance is 0.089. So we're quite over that as well. Okay, camshaft and spindle. So the original spindle diameter is 11.100 to 11.112. So we'll have a look at this. So we have 11.106. Write that down. So the original hole diameter is between 11.150 and 11.180. That's got nice drag. Oh, that feels good. We are 167. 167. So camshaft, we've got the spindle hole is 11.167, spindle shaft is 11.106. We need to find the clearance between the two, which works out as 0.061. Reject is 0.173. So we have got minimal wear on the camshaft, which is great. So the last two measurements that I want to be able to do but can't do is the piston diameter. The original is not mentioned anywhere in the manual, and also the crankshaft. The journals aren't mentioned anywhere in the manual either. The only thing they do say is the big end of the connecting rod, the liners can be replaced if they need to, if you can't clean them out with some fine emery paper, or if you can't clean the scratches out with fine emery paper. But sadly, they don't give any specifications, so bit of a shame, but I think we've got an all-round idea, a pretty good picture of the wear, and it's mostly acceptable, except the valves. They were miles out. Cylinder is great. Ring end gap is acceptable, but on the verge of being out. Valve guides, that was the issue. That was the problem we had. We're way over on that. And the camshaft is fine as well. So that's pretty cool to see. Good fun to do, nice to quantify, and actually, instead of just feeling and thinking, oh, that's a bit loose or that's not right, actually having numbers is a really nice way to know the health of your engine. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video, which will be putting everything back together. All right, team, catch ya. Bye.